What's happening, people? It's your girl Minna. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what it is. Listen, it's a chaotic deadline day, a very busy one. So we're gonna try to keep up with all the news that's gonna be happening in probably the next 2 hours or so. But it's only right. Big fixture today, possibly one of the biggest fixtures for Manchester United in the season so far. Manchester United versus Liverpool at Old Trafford on Sunday is the battle of the Boldies. Arne Slot versus Eric Ten Hag. It's going to be a very interesting one. And I'm joined by, guys, be nice to him in the chat. I know a lot of you are obviously United fans, but I'm joined by the one and only Khalid. In the description of this video, you can find the link to his channel and to his Twitter if you don't want to follow him on all platforms. But Khalid, listen, what are you telling me, man? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Just want to say thank you first and foremost for having me. It's a big honor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so we were talking off stream, obviously, before the stream. We were talking about the transfer for Liverpool in particular, because United have spent about 200 million or so, maybe just under that, to kind of give Eric Ten Hag a team that can compete. Whereas Arne Slot has come in, new team, new environment, new league, and he's literally inherited the exact team that Klopp had last season. Obviously, you guys have brought in Chiesa, you've brought in Mamadashvili, but he's not joining until next season. So it looks like Liverpool are planning for the future. But how do you feel about how Liverpool's transfer window has kind of been?
It's a bit strange because of the fact that when I listened to the press conference of the new sporting director Richard Hughes, the way he came across was he was looking for the right opportunities and things like that. And I look at the players available, suited for our system, and who can slot in and, more of like a plug and play. They'll get straight into the team. There's plenty of players available for that. And I kind of feel like it's a bit strange. We left things a bit last minute because we had the whole summer, and we're pretty much only teams pretty much in the Premier League out of all the bigger sides who haven't addressed the main issues of their team. So yeah, I'm personally, if I had to rate our entire window so far, it's like 3-4 out of 10 in terms of like addressing the main issues in our team that are quite glaring. Like it's very painfully obvious. We need a left-foot defender or left back, number 6, and I would even argue a left winger. But of course, we got Chiesa, so he can fill in for that position. But generally, I feel like those two positions have not been addressed, and I feel like it might come back to bite us later in the season.
Obviously, you got Gravenberch, I think, in this new 6 role. Let's just go straight into it and talk about Sunday's game, because I did a preview on COP TV with AGT, and we were talking about how this is a big game for Slot. Honestly, obviously, it's his first game in the league against a big rival, obviously at Old Trafford. Liverpool haven't really got a result there under Eric Ten Hag. Like at Old Trafford, Eric Ten Hag's record against Liverpool is decent. He's got a win and a draw. Since Eric Ten Hag has actually joined, outside of the 7-0, which is an embarrassing scoreline, United have been able to hold their own. I think the game is going to be a battle in the midfield, and equally saying that Man United have a midfield that is a bit wishy-washy sometimes. Casemiro is not really that lone 6 that United fans or United manager might think he is. You got Kobe, who is gassed out over the last 2 games. He's been gassed out by the 80th minute. And then you have obviously the wingers, the fullbacks, etc. Obviously, United have, like I said, spent a lot more. They brought in Nazir Mazraoui. They've brought in Matthias de Ligt, even though he hasn't played a full game yet. I think Liverpool's the game that he's going to get dashed into the starting lineup. Are you confident for that midfield battle? You got Szoboszlai. You got. I think your biggest threat is Harvey Elliott in midfield. I think he's good.
The way I look at it, for me, I think this United game is going to show what somebody like Gravenberch is made out of, because it's going to be the first big test. No disrespect to Ipswich and Brentford, they're good teams, but United is a step above. So I'm keen to see how he will do, most importantly, off the ball. Because on the ball, he's very good. He's very technical. He knows how to receive it, so on and so forth. But it's more so his defensive actions, because sometimes he lacks aggressiveness, he lacks intensity, and I don't see him be physical enough winning his individual battles, whether it's in the air or on the ground. So that's my main concern. So I'm keen to see how that will pan out, because United have got good players that are in the final third, like Bruno Fernandes or Kobe Mainoo. So I'm just a bit interested to see how that works out. But But yeah, I think, like you said, I think the midfield that's where the game will be won or lost. I think personally, but yeah, I think somebody like Harvey Elliott, I think he'll be a good option to come on second half. I think Szoboszlai has been the preferred player so far because of what he offers also off the ball. But yeah, I'm interested also to see like how the attacks do, because both teams got good players going forward.
I was actually talking about the attacks. I was saying, obviously, United have an interesting attack. They've got Joshua Zirkzee, they've got Marcus Rashford, who, even out of form, I'm always trusting of him to get a goal against the top six, even when he's out of
Up
form.
against Liverpool, exactly.
He always does. He loves a little field trip against Van Dijk. And then you've got Ahmad, you've got Garnacho, of course. Then like you said, you've got Bruno in the 10, etc. But you look at Liverpool's kind of front three and then the players on the bench to replace the front three. The only big threats to me, Mohamed Salah, number one. He's always a threat. He's got how many goals against Manchester United? And Diogo Jota.
Too many.
Yeah, he's got way too many goals against United. Hopefully you don't get another one. And Diogo Jota is the other guy. You got Luis Diaz on the left, Gakpo, maybe Darwin Núñez. You know what you're getting with Darwin Núñez. Yeah. I think it's going to be a very interesting battle between both Liverpool's back line and Man United's forward line, and then on the other side, Liverpool's forward line. Is there anyone in that front line that you think they have to kind of hit the ground running in the game for you lot to get a goal or kind of get anything from the game?
I think for us in particular, I think it's always going to be Mohamed Salah. So purely because of the fact that what he offers. So I noticed particularly the last game against Brentford, our right hand side is our strongest side, clearly. So the way we build up from that side. So I'm just very interested to see in particular how he does against. I'm assuming Dallow's going to play left back. So that I think he's the way. So if somebody like Rashford plays, and I don't see him somebody that tracks back a lot. So I think our right hand side is going to cause a lot of problems. I think that's where United will probably have to do most of their defending. And I'm assuming likewise on your end with Ahmad against Robertson. So yeah, I think something like Mohamed Salah, I think he's going to turn up. And like I said, I think the way we've been playing this season so far during pre-season is a lot more controlled, it's a bit more measured. We take our moments, we pick our moments when to play through the defense and press and so on and so forth. So it's not going to be like last season. I don't think it will be like that. But if it's like that, then that would mean we're not controlling the games that we want to control. So yeah, I'm interested to see. So like I said, mainly Mohamed Salah.
It's interesting because about Diogo Dalot, I don't really think he's come up against Mohamed Salah that often. I think the last time it was Wan-Bissaka that was put on the left, I think. And
yeah, I think so.
And then the year before that at Old Trafford, Malacia played against Salah, put him in his pocket.
Yeah,
I actually think Eric Ten Hag might put Mazraoui at left back. I think he might put him at left back.
Yeah, I think both of them are really good. Like Mazraoui is good 1v1, so is Dalot 1v1 as well. So, but yeah, I think Mazraoui might play on the right because I think the way you guys build up from the back, I think he plays a pivotal part. I think he's really, really good on the ball, very comfortable on the ball. So, and I think Dalot is a bit more athletic than what's his name, Mazraoui. So I think he might be probably a better matchup for Salah physically at least. So yeah, that's what I feel like the game might be decided in terms of like getting your best player involved into the game and impacting the game.
Slot versus Ten Hag. Obviously, they got a history from the Dutch league. They got a history together from the Dutch league. They're no strangers to each other. But Eric Ten Hag said it. He was asked a question. It was a misleading question in the press conference today, and he basically said, "Listen." He was asked about Slot, and he basically went on to speak about why Slot's job is not essentially easier than his, but there are things in place that Man United are only getting in place now. Whereas, I'm saying Liverpool got a sporting director. They've had the structure above the manager. And on top of that, they still have the players that Klopp had that won you lot a Premier League and a Champions League. 2 games in, and because this is the biggest topic of discussion in the United fan base, do you see a style of play under Slot? And if so, how do you think you lot are going to play against United on the weekend?
In terms of his style of play, I think the way we've been playing during the pre-season and the way we've been playing the first 2 games, and even like watching some of the clips from his former teams like Feyenoord, I think he wants to play more of a possession-based, control-based game where we play our football. We take our time. It's not rushed. It's a bit more measured. It's a bit completely opposite to what we were used to as Liverpool fans from last season. So yeah, like I think we're going to try to go there to control the game, to be a bit more cautious, and not play into United's hands, because United are really good. United is one of the last teams you want to play end-to-end football with, and we saw that last season when we played you guys both times, and it kind of cost us. So I think we're going to go there 100% with the intention of controlling the game, and play our football. It's a lot more. It's not as direct as Klopp's football. It's a bit more patient. It's a bit more slower. We try to bait the opposition to press, and then trying to either play through the press or play over the press. So that's what we've been doing quite a lot so far this season and in the preseason. So I think we're going to go there with the same intention.
It's interesting because obviously style of play is, I think, the biggest conversation when it comes to fans, especially for Man United fans.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to talk about style of play. But you mentioned how last season it was kind of end to end. Like, I think with Liverpool, except for when we came to Anfield, where United essentially parked the bus and just tried to hit on the counter, every other game, the 2 games at Old Trafford, end-to-end football. As a football fan, and to be honest, as a United fan, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. But it's not something that you want to watch on a regular basis. And I think that's the difficult thing with United versus Liverpool, especially like under Eric Ten Hag most recently. It's hard to predict how United are going to come up in this game, because we went away to Anfield and we parked the bus. And then at Old Trafford, we're ready to play basketball football up and down the pitch. Literally, like you couldn't really write it. And that's why I'm not writing United off for this game. A lot of people I've spoken to, like Liverpool fans, even like non-Liverpool fans, they have the belief that Liverpool are going to win, but everyone is kind of in the agreement that it could be a 4-1 Liverpool, it could be a 3-2 United, it could be a 1-0, it could be a 2, it could be the most random scoreline. Because I remember when it was 7-0, United came into that game
So confident.
Pretty much on a good run.
Yeah.
We were on a good, fresh off Carabao, fresh off knocking out Barcelona. We were on a good run, and that was the humbler in March that kind of slapped us back into reality. If you now go the year after, United's having the worst season in I think their history, and they're walking away, knocking Liverpool out of the FA Cup, and getting a point at Old Trafford, which could have been 3 points. It should have been, for me, it should have been 3 points. And that's why I can't really write United off for Sunday.
Course.
And I don't know if you feel the same, because obviously you're quite a reasonable Liverpool fan. Within reason, obviously you're still a Liverpool fan at the end of the day, but you're a reasonable Liverpool fan. Yeah. And it seems like you ain't really writing anybody off either.
No, definitely not, because whenever it's Liverpool United, like, I think personally, a lot of times form just goes out the window. It's all about
100%.
A lot of the times it's all about who turns up on the day. So I think if whichever team, whoever strikers and defenders turn up and goalkeepers and already, I think that's what decides the game. But I always go into these games thinking, okay, you know what, it's United. You don't know what you're gonna get. They have good players that can decide games. So you have Rashford, Bruno, Ahmad, Xerxes. So it's like you have a lot of players that can decide games, even if you, let's say, for example, have a bad performance, but you have players that turn up and make the difference in the final third. So, and likewise with us as well, we can go there equally, put a bad performance, but we can go there, nick the points, because we have difference makers in the final third. So it's just one of those ones. You just have to wait and see what happens when the game starts, pretty much.
I just have to stop you there, sorry, because big up to Nuruddin in the chat. The gift that keeps on giving, just gifted 50 memberships. Not 10, I need to bring up the emoji quickly for 50, because Nuruddin has his own emoji here. Big up to Nuruddin, 50 memberships. I cannot go and read everyone that has just been gifted a membership, but I'm going to go after the stream and look back to see everyone that did get gifted a membership. Big up to Nuruddin, the king on the channel that's always gifting memberships. So if you ain't got your memberships on, guys, make sure you turn it on, because people are always gifting memberships here on the channel. And if you want to get gifted one, you got to turn it on in your YouTube settings. Otherwise, you miss out on it. Let me just quickly check if there's any kind of updates on the transfer news, because, does this make a difference? Yes and no. Man United have just announced Manuel Ugarte. Like, we've known he's joining. They've dropped an interesting video. It's not an announcement video, actually. It's saying 9:30 p.m., which I guess means that's when they're going to drop the announcement for him. But PSG and Manuel Ugarte have also just confirmed he's leaving PSG. And obviously he's going to join Manchester United. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Khalid, I don't have any good news. No good news for Liverpool, because it looks like you lot ain't making many moves in the transfer window. But do you guys think, or do you think, and you lot in the chat as well, do you think Liverpool are trying to slot up for next summer and the summers to come? Because Van Dijk is on his last year, right? Alisson is on his last year. I think Trent is as well. I think Mohamed Salah is too. Are you not worried for life after the big five?
I think I don't know. I've got my like the top red hat on. I'm thinking that we're gonna get a contract extension for Trent, probably Van Dijk, and I think Mohamed Salah. I think is gonna leave on his own terms, but I'm not. Anything could happen. But I think Alisson got another year or two left on his one. But those three in particular, I think 2 out of 3 will probably stay. Maybe Salah, I think maybe he might leave on his own terms, or he might just retire Liverpool. But like you said, I'm 100% a bit concerned how we do with those players, because they are the difference makers in our team. They've been there for so long. They have the experience. They've won everything with the club. So yeah, I think it's very, very key that we keep all of them at least this season. So, but and hopefully next season as well. But yeah, I think for me, my main concern was always the players that are needed for the current squad. So the fact that it's like less than 2 hours to the window closes, and we still haven't got a number 6 or a left foot.
Do you expect? Let me be honest. Do you think you're signing anyone in the last hour or hour and a bit?
I personally don't think so. I think we might get number 6. I think we might firm not getting a left back or left foot centre half who can play left back or left centre back at the same in and out possession. But because I'm assuming we're going to keep Joe Gomez, I don't think he's going to leave, because
I think he was. Who was he linked to join? He was linked to join. I think it was Palace,
Crystal
right?
Palace. Yeah, it was linked to join Crystal Palace, and I think Crystal Palace ended up signing Trevor Chalobah on loan.
Yeah, they've just signed Trevor Chalobah and LaCroix.
Yeah, so I think that rules him out. I think. So I think if we keep him, I think we're going to go for a number 6 instead, and then maybe a left foot defender next summer. I think we're also heavily linked with Anthony Gordon. Maybe that one might be next summer as well. So because it's so late.
I mean, Newcastle's having a shambolic window themselves.
Yeah, I don't think they've signed anybody. I think the move for Mark Gahey collapsed. I think because the defender that is signed Crystal Palace, I forgot his name, Riyad something. I think it was Moroccan.
Oh yeah, the Moroccan guy. Yeah, the Moroccan.
Yeah, he had an MCL injury, so that's why they had to get 2 players in, and I'm assuming they are keeping Mark Gahey as a result. So I think that just rules Joe Gomez out entirely. So I think we're going to keep him.
It's crazy because I'm not gonna lie. If I don't know what is it like in the Liverpool fan base, because I think if this happened at Man United, oh my god, I can't imagine what had been happening. Obviously, I don't watch a lot of like Liverpool content creators. I don't follow a lot of people that are Liverpool fans. So what is the Liverpool world saying for this? Are people actually like having meltdowns? The only Liverpool content creator I watch is, shout out to Hussam, because one minute he's cooking FSG, next minute he's applauding them. Shout out to him. But what is it like? Like, how do you feel about all of this as well? Are you happy for this season to kind of be like a taster season, and then next summer you kind of hit the ground running?
I think I'm just more so disappointed with the amount of time we had as a club to make a signing. Of course, I understand, I give him the benefit of the doubt in terms of this tournament football. It's very difficult to make a signing because the player you might want is playing. He might get injured. Who knows? So, but even then, as soon as the tournament finished and the Olympics, I think there was a good enough time for the club to make at least 1 or 2 signings, because there are a lot of options out there that fit the way we play. That fit the way we play. So I think sometimes the club are thinking, okay, we need that perfect signing. And I think that sometimes it might be a bit naive thinking, because the player that you might want that is perfect might either not exist, or he's at a club where he's either most likely won't come, or because he's too expensive, or he's just at a bigger club. Like, let's say, for example, Shumain We've been linked with
Yeah.
him, bro. We've wanted him for years, and we might still try think odd one or odd year where we want to try get him, but still they might view him as a perfect player, but he's at Real Madrid. He's unattainable signing. So I just feel like sometimes these perfect fit sometimes are a bit unrealistic, a bit naive. So yeah, that's why sometimes I'm just a bit frustrated because we had so much time to make signings and we haven't. So I feel like in a way sometimes it kind of sets the manager up for failure because now he's most likely going to go into the season with Ryan Gravenberch as a makeshift number 6. So I feel like, especially with the fan base, I look at some of the fans, like when I read their tweets or the forums or whatever, a lot of them have the expectation that they want to challenge for the league. I'm the opposite. I think for me, it's imperative, like it's important that we aim for top 4 and then build on that first because we have a new manager. He's brought a new style of play. The expectations are entirely different from last season. So even though the players are still the same, so yeah, I just feel like they kind of set the manager up for failure in some ways because like a number 6 is important to the way
But is it bad if he comes this season and he finishes top 6? It's not in his first season. Maybe Ten Hag has set the standard a bit too high for your first season in the Premier League.
For me, the thing is, I look at our squad and overall, like currently without a single player, even minus Chiesa, I think our squad is generally good enough to finish top 4. I think so. But I also think when there are some glaring holes in the team that needs to be fixed, the players are out there. I just feel like the club has taken way too long to make a change, or like because we're not broke as a club, as in like we have money. But I just feel like sometimes the strategy and the business model we have as a club is like we need to sell players, a lot of players, and whatever money we get from that, we'll add to whatever players we want to buy. So it's like that kind of model. Like sometimes, like I look at Chelsea or United from before, not now, but like they have the money, they'll spend it, even though sometimes it might be reckless. But the intention to spend and to actually get players that they want is there. Whereas for us, we kind of look at sometimes a bit more like we look at from such a narrow lens. Like
And now, yeah, kind of tunnel vision.
Yeah, so it's like even though I like the way we operate, but again, it's like it's so obvious that there's a problem there and it needs to be fixed, and it's there. The players are available. It's like why don't we go out and get them?
Big up to Nuruddin with the super chat says, glad to see a rival fan here. Yeah, we don't really have rival fans on the channel that often, I'm not gonna lie. It's always a close game between us, regardless of form or players, but we've been here before, mate. Same score, 2-1. Good luck. Now, big up to Joe in the chat says, who will finish higher, Liverpool or United? I'm not gonna lie. In my predictions before the season started, I said United finish 3rd, Liverpool. I think I said Liverpool finish 4th or 5th. I said they'd maybe make top 4 or they just about make top 4. But I made that video when I was doing the predictions with the expectation that you would sign someone like Anthony Gordon, because you lot were linked to him for quite a bit of time. And I think am I wrong? Is he a Scouser? Am I wrong to say he's a Scouser, right?
He's a boyhood Liverpool fan. He's from Liverpool. So yeah, the guy's, and he used to be part of the Liverpool academy set before he went to Everton.
Who do you think finishes higher than Liverpool or United? Now that we pretty much know what both teams look like for the rest of the season.
I still think it's Liverpool because I look at the styles of play. I think Liverpool, the way Liverpool are going to be playing this season, I have been playing during the pre-season, and this season I think it's more sustainable way of getting results, managing games, controlling games. Whereas United, sometimes I don't know what kind of game they're going to be playing because sometimes they could be controlling the big part of the game, and then you have the last 20 minutes, like we saw against Brighton last week, where I thought United could have won the game, but also at the same time slow the game down, win the game. But I feel like those kind of games, I'm going to see a lot more of that from United this season. So I still think, because United finished 8th last season, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we don't finish 5th or 4th this season. So somewhere in between that, because they made improvements, don't get me wrong. They bought a good striker in Xerxes, and they made good defensive signings as well. So even though if they're a bit short in the midfield, like I said, I think United have good players going forward that can decide games. So I feel like 4th and 5th, I think that's where I see United. I think Liverpool finished 3rd.
And just quickly, just because it's transfer deadline, there's not really much news. It's Arsenal, Chelsea, United. What do you think about the Jadon Sancho? It's so random, but what do you think about Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea? Because me personally, I've been saying it, and people think I'm supporting Sancho. United fans think I'm supporting Sancho, but I'm more under the why the hell are you going there when there's so many players in the club already? But some Chelsea fans, by the way, I've spoken to, they said that Sancho on paper is what Maresca wants. I don't know. What do you think of that signing or that move?
I think from a United perspective, I think United fans should be happy that they got rid of a player that's like a bad apple. I just think he hasn't contributed anything notable, like anything respectable. So I think from a United point of view, I think United should be happy that they got rid of a player that just needed to go. But from Chelsea's point of view, I'm looking at, I think Chelsea, I'm assuming he's going to play on the left. So they've got Pedro Neto there, they've got Mudryk there, they've got João Felix there, they've got Nkunku there. So if they bring Jadon Sancho and he's going to most likely play there, and I look at the manager, the way he wants to set up, he likes his wingers to be touchline wingers, like someone like Cole, what's his name? Like Pedro Neto, who's very fast, very direct, dynamic. I can't quite understand what Jadon Sancho will bring to the club, to Chelsea, when I look at the similar profiles out there already at the club. So again, I just don't know what he'll bring, but I just feel like from Chelsea's point of view, I just feel like it's a bad signing. Honestly, I just don't think he will.
It's what Chelsea do with it. They just sign random players that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because the way I look at Chelsea, I think they are stockpiling players more. Like, I think they've kind of gone above and beyond. Like, sometimes you have extreme and then you have a level even worse than that. So I think I'm just assuming that they might even get like a transfer ban. So they're just trying to get as many players as they can and then just take the punishment from there. So I'm just under that assumption because they've got way too many players and I just don't know how that will work out for them.
All right, and last but not least, obviously, before we wrap the stream up, predictions Sunday, big one. I'll be at Old Trafford, so hopefully I'll bring some good luck for the game.
Enjoy the game.
But I'm going to start with my prediction, and I'm going to say 2-1. I did say 2-0. I think on a preview video that I did with United View, I said 2-0. But now I'm thinking about it. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think the game is going to go in like chunks, where one team dominates, then the other team dominates, then one team dominates. But I'm sorry, United cannot forget letting Liverpool come to Old Trafford and take 3 points. You can't let a new manager on his debut game at Old Trafford come and embarrass you. You can't do that. So for that reason, I'm saying 2-1 Man United.
I think 2-1 Liverpool. I'm just simply looking at the way United play, and I think the way Liverpool have been playing and want to play. If we play the way United wants to play, I think it can go either way, but I think it might even be a draw. But I think I'm just going to go 2-1 Liverpool, purely because of the
safe fact one. To say 2-1 is safe.
It's very safe because, of course, it's the Slot's first new big test, and he's got somebody like Gravenberch in there. Like I said, he's been playing well, don't get me wrong, but it's just, again, my concerns off the ball. And like I said, when you play against better quality opposition, you might get punished. So, but I think because I think the way we have been playing so far and the firepower we have got going forward, I just think, he might be one of those ones where it might go either way. And whichever strikers and defenders turn up, I think that's it. They will decide the game.
Who do you think is going to score for you lot?
I think Salah's going to score. And
he loves a goal against United.
Yeah. And I also think Diogo Jota is going to score. I think he might be key because he plays as more of like a false nine, dropping into the pockets and stuff like dropping into the in between the defense and the midfield. So yeah, I think he's going to score as well.
If Maguire starts, I'm scared for that battle of Jota and the centre backs. But if De Ligt starts, I think I'm not saying they can shut him up, but I'm more confident if it's a De Ligt and Martinez. The only thing is, if De Ligt and Martinez start, having your first partnership be a game against Liverpool, there's no bigger test than that.
Yeah. So that's what I think personally. I think that's what I think Ten Hag might go for the players that
he might go safe.
That he might go the safe way and play the players that have played it and that know the fixture. So I think he might go for somebody like Maguire and Lisandro Martinez.
Listen, man, I appreciate it. Listen, the last time I had a Liverpool fan on here, talked a lot of wreck and then beat us 7-0. So I hope that's not the case again.
I try to be humble.
Yeah, you're humble with it. Listen, guys, in the bio of this video, you can find the link to Khalid's socials. You can find his new YouTube channel and his Twitter where he's active as well. Make sure you lot go follow it. I know a lot of you lot are United fans, obviously, but make sure you lot go show some love. Let them know what are you doing? What are you up to? Where can they find you online as well?
Yeah, sure. like you said, it's in your description. So I've got the same handle is for everything, for my Instagram, for my Twitter, for my YouTube, and for my TikTok. But I'm primarily mostly active on Twitter, so you can engage with me there, ask me any questions, etc., or have a discussion. So yeah.
Yeah, man, you lot know what it is. And before we wrap it up, guys, quickly just predictions in the chat. I know quite a lot of United fans, I think, are optimistic. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying to people, we need to stop giving so much respect to rival teams. We need to stop doing that. Like for a long time, we go into Liverpool games, especially like last season. People talking about, oh, you know, a draw. You know, I remember Anfield game. We walked away with a draw, and everybody was happy with it. And Liverpool fans, I remember your captain was crying on Sky Sports on his media duties, complaining about some nonsense. I hope on Sunday United come out at Old Trafford and Manuel Ugarte is going to be presented to the fans. No respect to Liverpool, no respect to Arne Slot. Just bad them up. But you guys know what it is. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. 1 hour and a bit left of the transfer deadline. So I will go live with United View. So come over to United View because I'm gonna go join their stream in a little bit. And as I said, make sure you lot go follow Khalid's socials, his channel, etc., etc. Whether you're a United fan, whether you're a Liverpool fan, or you're just a rival fan and you just want to troll him, go and do that as well. I am out. I'll be back tomorrow morning on here. I think I'm meant to actually do a stream after the deadline. I don't know. But I'm back tomorrow morning with Marcel, where we're going to talk about the deadline, of course. And then Sunday, match day content, all of that stuff, man. You guys know what it is. Big up to Khalid. Big up to everyone in the chat. And I will see you lot all in the morning, guys. Peace.